Hi, welcome. I'm glad that you're here today. I'm Suzanne Lynn, and we're talking with Lynn Langford. She is the founder and CEO of Blue Gold Works, Inc., which helps African women to filter and sell safe drinking water um, for their communities. I can't think of a more important project you could be working on. And I love the fact that there's actually a name for them. They're Waterpreneurs. Welcome, Lynn. I'm glad that you're here.
Thank you for having me, Suzanne.
Just in the introduction, we talked about how important it is. I truly cannot think of anything more valuable than clean drinking water, and we take it so for granted,
Mhm.
and we shouldn't,
Mhm. Mhm.
because that's not the case in the world, right?
No, it's not at all the case in the world. And that was sort of my epiphany that led me to create Blue Gold Works.
Mm.
Story is, when I became a mother and looked into the faces of my sons, I suddenly realized that I had a kind of sacred responsibility to leaving the planet in a better place for the next generation.
Yeah.
So I looked around for a worthy problem because I assumed that I'd be working on this for 15 or 20 years.
Right.
And I wanted it to be worthwhile. I wanted it to be, even if I could make a small impact, I wanted it to be an important problem to solve.
Right.
So I did my due diligence. I looked around and I educated myself on what the problems in the world were. And I kept coming back to water.
Yeah.
Water seems to be such a central issue for solving a lot of global problems and planetary problems. Did you know that 60% of the deaths of children under the age of 5 are from waterborne illnesses? And girls are most burdened by the task of gathering water. And because they're on those long treks, taking hours, they're at danger when they do that. They don't often get a chance to go to school. And we all know without an education, you just don't have a good chance for making your life better. So it all comes back to, I suddenly had my problem. My problem was, how do I create a system that would, or a business that would allow young women to filter and sell their own water locally without exposing themselves to these harms and giving them a chance to have more time to go to school and giving their families a chance to have a little bit more money so they could afford the school fees.
Lynn, I'm just looking at what you're saying, and there's so many problems on top of problems. Like, I thought when we were going to do this interview, it was about clean drinking water.
Mhm.
It's about so much more than that. It's about these girls that have to trek so far that they don't get an education. That's a whole nother mound of problems that you're dealing with.
Mhm.
It's hard to even comprehend.
Mhm.
Where do you start? What does Blue Gold do?
Yeah. So what Blue Gold does is we're a for-profit company. We harvest and sell products from the Moringa tree that are grown sustainably by African farmers. We then sell the high-value Moringa oil and the monofloral Moringa honey to high-end skincare firms across the world. We also make a filter, a water filter from the waste product of that oil production. It's a white powder. It's called Moringa seed cake powder. We put it into our filters, add a little magic. We sell those filters via microloans to women waterpreneurs in Africa who then filter and distribute and sell water to their families, to their communities, to their settlements.
How did you come up with this idea? I mean, it's a natural filtration system.
Yes, it is.
How did this happen?
Well, that's an interesting story too. As I was doing my background information, my due diligence to study where the real problems were and latched onto water, I started to educate myself on what were all the ways that we had failed in the past to solve this water crisis. And there are many. And it gets to your point about it can seem overwhelming because it's so complex and interrelated. But I got down to a solution. And the solution was that the product or the process had to be simple. It had to be low tech. It had to not require any power because electricity is an intermittent thing in most developing nations. It had to be planet friendly. I didn't want to introduce chemicals, which are used now in water filtration, because that causes other planetary problems. They are toxic to the Earth.
The side effects to that, yes.
Exactly, exactly. And I then realized, I started asking myself a question. Well, how does Mother Nature solve this problem? I mean, she's had 3.5 million years. So let me learn what real solutions are out there that are natural, that are biodegradable. That's when I learned about the Moringa tree. So Moringa is called a miracle tree. It grows, it's pan-tropical. It grows very quickly. It's drought tolerant. It's freely available. People say it's like growing your pharmacy and your grocery store in your backyard.
Wow.
Every part of the tree is useful. The leaves are really nutritious. The WHO gives them to starving, malnourished children. The seeds can be pressed into this high value oil that never goes rancid and feels really good on your skin. It's a sort of a dry feel. It's not a sticky feel.
Okay.
The off product of the pressing of the oil is the seed cake powder that we put into our filters. And then the seed cake powder and the oil itself is antibacterial and is full of antioxidants. And the honey that's made from the flowers is really rich in nutrients, and it's also antibacterial. So it's being used in hospitals in Africa for wound care. And so people eat it and they apply it. So grocery store and pharmacy as well. Yeah. I learned, I guess I learned the secrets, or tried to learn the secrets that Mother Nature has known for a long time. This is sort of old wisdom passed down, and we just need to reopen our eyes.
Lynn, it makes so much sense. I mean, I can see what's making you different. Why? I guess I'm going to ask you just to kind of briefly go through this. Why are we just getting here now? I mean, we kind of jumped the natural part, went right into the chemicals and the man-made.
Yeah.
You know, that it's not the logical step. Right.
It's not. You asked a question earlier, is it political? Because this is such a big problem. Why? And it seems like it should be a simple solution, put in place these water treatment facilities, pipe it into people's homes, voila, you're done.
Right.
Corruption is a huge part of it, but also a bigger part of it in developing nations is that it took a long time for us to learn that international aid, charity, waiting for the government to install a solution has failed. It just it doesn't work. In fact, more than 60% of the public water projects in Africa fail within the first 5 years.
How heartbreaking. I mean, that's hope for them, and that's heartbreaking.
Right. So that way lies failure. So what we do have as a great resource is these amazing, resourceful women farmers all over the world. I don't know whether you've ever had a chance to in Haiti or other places to meet them, but they can raise a family of 6 on 50 cents a day. And they are incredibly strong and resourceful and resilient. And these are waterpreneurs. These are women who know how to save money, who know how to make a lot happen with very little.
Lynn, I am loving the idea of you sharing a success story.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So we have 12 waterpreneurs that are a part of our first group in Nigeria, and they've been testing our prototype water filter for months now. They've actually successfully filtered 72,000 liters, that's about 18,000 gallons of water that was toxic in their neighborhood. They filtered it using our really homely looking filter.
Yeah.
And we just had a meeting with them. One of my partners, Alex Omeje, was in Nigeria recently and had a meeting with them. And they were thankful that because they filtered this water themselves, their children are no longer getting sick. They haven't had any cases of cholera in the last 6 months.
Oh my
in that group.
Unbelievable. This is something, and I want to get to how we can be part of this, because I think this is something that we need to move along, and we need to be standing on the top of a mountain shouting about this. But I'm curious about Blue Gold Works. How did that name come about?
That's a great story too. In the 19th century, our most precious commodity was gold. In the 20th century, our most precious commodity and the one that we fought wars over was oil, and we called that black gold.
Yes.
And then in the 21st century, the most precious commodity with climate change and droughts and wars is water.
Absolutely.
That's what we're going to fight for. Blue gold.
I love it. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Lynn, how can people get involved? Are there different levels? I mean, you're for profit right now, but you need some support to get this going. We have a website, and everybody can go there and make a donation of any size. The website is www.bluegoldworks.com. Okay, we'll put that right down there. The exciting thing about that is right now we have a project. It's shovel ready. We call it Prime the Pump. And it's the first test of our ability to scale up from household level water purification to purifying enough drinking water for 1,000 people a day. Oh my gosh. And this larger system is still natural based. It's still based on Moringa. It takes 5 waterpreneurs, women waterpreneurs, to run this system. But they use it with their phones. They're able to pay for water. It's like a water ATM. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and it's safer. It's less expensive, considerably less expensive than their alternatives. Right now, they're using what's called sachet water, which is basically a plastic bag of water. But problem is, it's produced in every village, and you don't know what the quality is. Sure. So our production, our water, even in this very simple way, is more affordable. It's been tested by EPA level labs. It removes E. coli. It removes all toxins from the water. People just use it as an anticoagulant, and it settles the water overnight. That's what we're excited about. So if people can go to that website and whatever their budget allows, send us a donation. We'll send you a shout out and a thank you. And we'll then be able to build this Prime the Pump project and test our scalability. We're doing this in a village, a settlement outside of Lagos with our waterpreneurs. Lynn, if someone is watching this and they're right on the verge, they're like, this is something different. I agree that water is the greatest commodity. Everyone it's a basic human right to have clean water to drink. What would you say to them? Why they should consider giving a donation? Why is right now the time to do that? Now's a great time. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and we've started to look inwardly, I think. We're looking around our neighborhoods, and we're realizing that we can be very resourceful. We can help our neighbors. We can take simple actions like getting them groceries and
hooking up their Zoom accounts. These are things that we have realized, I think, because of the importance of the moment, that we can actually make a difference right now.
Yes.
And Blue Gold Works, I hope, is that kind of an enterprise. And any donation that you give to us, or if you want to invest in us, we have some information about that on our website. We'd be delighted to talk to you. It is an opportunity to do something right now that makes a big difference. With a $25 donation, we will thank you most kindly, and with a $100 donation, we'll send you a sample of our exquisite Moringa monofloral honey.
That is wonderful. Lynn, I cannot thank you for what you're doing. I mean, when you want to pour your donation, your time and your love into something that's making a difference, I mean, you're reaching thousands of people with the most important project you could possibly be working on. So thank you for that.
One of the things that I've realized that may be true for other people too is during this long process of educating myself and figuring out what a worthy problem was and what a workable solution was, I've met some amazing, caring, thoughtful people. So now I have a network that is helping me to launch Blue Gold Works, and I'm thrilled about that. It's one of the great experiences to work with people who are committed, inspired, want to make an impact, and are ready to roll up their sleeves and do it.
Let's jump on board. Let's be a team. That's what it takes. Lynn, thank you so much for being here, and let's follow up later this year and see how things are going, and
Thank you.
and let's get the word out.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.